Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers. I'm just going to do your handover video on your Autohaus. It's based on a 2003 or 53 plate VW T5. And so we'll start under the bonnet here. We've got on the left hand side, your air filter, power steering fluid and your brake fluid. You've then got the engine oil filling point just up here at the top and the engine oil dipstick just here to the right of it with the yellow, the sort of orange top. Washer fluid through this reservoir just here with the blue top at the front, and the engine coolant here next door to that. You've then got the engine battery, which is this one just over here, the Varta one. So this is your starter battery. The leisure battery sits underneath the seat, the bed seat there in the back, if you ever needed to get to that, but you shouldn't need to do that. I know the leisure battery has been replaced relatively recently, so you shouldn't need to do that for a long time. Your diesel filling point is behind this little flap just here. You do have to open up the passenger door in order to get that to open because of this little bar here. The original number plates are just there, private plates I've just put on now. So on the habitation check, I've lubricated all of these little locks and bits and pieces on all the doors, including all the rollers as well, so that should all work nicely. We haven't had a chance to completely clean it yet, obviously, after the hab check just yet, but I've also lubricated up all the windows and the blinds, so everything is all completely operational as you would expect. So because the vehicle wasn't up to regulations on the gas, we have had to fit a gas locker. So the gas locker itself just sits down here at the back. The bed at the back here does still fold all the way down without touching the top of it. So to take this out, take the front cover off, and then you've got good access to your gas bottle. The gas pipe does then run across underneath this cupboard above the water tank and up, still allowing you space to get the tank out. So to turn the bottle on, we go anti-clockwise around to the left on this dial here, and to turn it off we go clockwise round to the right until it stops. It's really important that you turn this gas bottle off before you start driving, but otherwise the gas locker itself is completely fixed into place to the floor with a dropout hole underneath the bottle, so it's all completely up to regulation. To put the cover back on, you put the bottom part in first and then fold it around nicely like that, so it's all nice and snug. Next door to the gas locker, we've got the actual water tank here. So what you've got is a 12-volt socket just here at the top, which is to power the pump. So if I unplug this, the pump will no longer have power. You need to unplug it in order to pull the tank out, but once you have done, it's as easy as that. That's to give you, easier access to filling it up, all that sort of stuff, but you shouldn't ever really need to get to that so much, apart from having to fill the tank up from this point just here. And these rear lockers, so you've got the singular gas fitting there that I've had to do for the gas locker, and I think just a bit of storage at the top here. Yep. So carrying on to the offside now, we've got the hookup plugged in at the moment, so you can see that's where the hookup goes in. I will show you on the inside when we get to it where the trip switches are and the battery charger, but if you want to actually plug the hookup cable in, that's where you go for that. Okay, so I'll just show you around the cab now. So the cab itself is actually a relatively high spec, so you've got the 6-speed manual gearbox, which is always nice. ASR switch over there on the left hand side, and a relatively modern double din head unit just there. You have actually got as well the cruise control on this left hand stalk, so you turn the cruise control on and off via this switch here, and then you can press resume or set your speed by going up and down on there. So that's a nice extra to have of a van this year. Now there is a Sigma alarm on this vehicle. Now I'm obviously not going to say the code out loud on the video, but the next owner will be given the code that you have to press the buttons basically in order to allow the engine to start up. So ignition on, type in the code, start her up, and that's it, nice and easy. You've then got your lights over here on the left, on the right hand side. Heated mirrors, and they are electrically adjustable, so you can select which side you want to move and then move this around like a little joystick basically. And your electric windows. Yeah, okay, so that's about it for the cab really. So just gonna go around the other side now so I can show you inside the motorhome itself. That's just going to be a relatively short video really, because there's not a huge amount to this particular vehicle. It's nice and simple, easy to use. So over here to our right hand side, as soon as we get in, we've got your ZIG unit, which is your power sort of kind of a power supply unit and a control panel in one. So just jump up a bit closer to it. So the actual panel itself couldn't be any easier to use. So all you've got on this right hand side, as it says, you've got fuses. They're all 10 amp, and you basically, to get to those, you just unscrew them with a flathead screwdriver, a couple of turns, and it'll pop out towards you. Next door to that, we've got the power output. So we've got one for the pump, one for the lights, and one for the auxiliary power, which in this case powers your fridge. So to turn this on and off, we'll turn the power off to your 12-volt fridge. So when you've got the pump switch switched on, you will then be able to come over to the tap, and the pump that sits inside the tank over there that I just showed you will have power. All right, easy as that. Next one, as I said, is just your light switch. So, you know, turns your lights on and off. And like I said, the aux switch there on the right hand side powers the fridge. You've then got on the left hand side the battery selector and condition. So we've got normal showing up here at the moment, so the green, and then low will come up if it starts running a little bit low on the voltage. It's up in the green at the moment mainly because we've got the hookup cable plugged in, and to be fair, if it does go down into the red, it's not always the end of the world. It doesn't mean that you're, you know, completely flat. It just means basically it's about time to plug a hookup cable in and get it charging up. On the left, we've got the battery selector. So you've got van, car, and off. Okay, so all the time that you're using the 12 volt and you want to use the lights and you want to use the, you know, the fridge and all that sort of stuff, you need to be down on van. And that will then allow all the power coming from the leisure battery to power up all of the lights and things. If you go up to car, what will happen is all of the power for the lights and things like that will be being drawn from that engine battery, your starter battery, which you definitely don't want to happen, because otherwise you'll end up not being able to start the engine up. Right, underneath the control panel, we've got a mains power switch, which will only work when the hookup's plugged in, and a 12-volt socket next door to that. You've got a really nice deep locker here, actually, really good amount of storage in that one there. And just down here is where your hookup trip switches are on the right hand side, and your 240-volt battery charger is the Mobitronic one just there. So all of your mains powered stuff basically is in that cupboard there. You've got a little pull-out drawer above it. But yeah, if ever you plug the hookup cable in and you can't get anything to work on the mains, have a little look in there and make sure your trip switches are up. This cupboard, basically you just slot it back in where it came from and then push forwards, push your buttons in, and that's it. Okay, the other thing that you've got, the other appliance that you've got is your diesel heater. So this is, you know, really could not be any easier. You've basically just got this switch just here. So you have got a tank underneath this seat here that you need to keep your eye on the level for. But you basically press on and then turn it up if you need to, and then wait about 5 minutes or so. And after about 5 minutes, you'll have hot air pumping out through that vent just there. One thing that's really important to point out, I'm just going to have to use my other hand, 1 second. Right, so one thing that's really important to point out, so this here is your diesel heater under the seat, and this is the fuel tank for it, which we have filled up halfway, so that should last you a relatively long time anyway. But the other side of this side just here of the diesel heater, you've really got to make sure that you don't put anything in front of that, because that's where it draws the air in to actually work. So if you put something in front of that and it can't draw any air in, it just will not work. Right, so that is the diesel heating system. Super easy. And then when you want to turn it off, just press the off button on there and it will cool itself down and switch off. Okay, so you've also got the 2-burner hob here, which has got its own ignition here. So you've got a piezo igniter, that's what that's called. So you basically just push in whilst pressing on your ignition to get it to light up. I've got the gas switched off at the moment, so it's not going to come on. I've shown you the sink there already. The waste does just come straight out underneath, so if you're on a campsite, you should really have a roll-away waste tank underneath there. And underneath that, we've got your 12-volt fridge, if I can open it up. So the 12-volt fridge has literally just got a little dial in the back of it, basically just saying off and then all the numbers up. So you can just adjust the temperature as and when you need to. But as I was saying, if you want to just turn the fridge off completely, you just turn the aux switch off on your control panel. All right. So, as I said, when you finish with the diesel heater, just press the off button. The little fan in the middle will flash blue at you for a little minute whilst it's cooling itself down. But when that eventually stops, the diesel heater is completely off. To make the bed up is super easy as well. You can move this entire seat forwards and backwards if you want to. It is a little bit awkward with one hand, but basically you've got this little handle just here, which allows you to move this seat wherever you want to. So you would have this, I'll do it with both hands again. You would have this up at this sort of level here. You then fold this middle part down by pulling this handle just here, and then the same with the back part, and that then is your bed made up completely. And it literally takes all of about 30 seconds to do it. So a really nice strong rib bed, you call these ones. But yeah, nice and easy. Okay, so I think I've pretty much shown all the appliances, shown you how to use everything. If there are any bits and pieces that you're not sure about or anything you want me to go through again, just let us know. But otherwise, we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.